Well, g'day, Jason Haines here once again from QPL Rural. We're another edition of the Haines Report, where we look right across the Riverina and around the world at what's been happening in agriculture. Well, some light rain this week, particularly down in the southern areas. It was very encouraging. Some very good snowfalls up in the hills, which hopefully will go into the storages throughout the season and will increase those levels there to take the pressure off the irrigation side, but we can only hope in that space. Some of those southern crops and eastern crops do look very good at the moment. We are very much aware there's nothing much under them at the moment, but I was out at Collyamberley earlier this week and there was some lighter country there that were suffering at this stage, so we don't have to go very far from home, and there's some ordinary crops that are in desperate need of a drink at the moment. While we're talking rain, it's probably a good opportunity to slip around those storages at the moment. Blowering Dam is currently sitting on 46% and rising. Hume, 29% and rising. Burrajuk, 31%, and Dartmouth at 63%. Good to see all those storages rising steadily as you'd expect over the winter time, and let's hope we've got a good spring ahead of us. Water trading this week will quite slow once again. We look like we've got prices that are hovering around that $600 mark. We've got water on the market from just shy of $600 right the way through to sort of that $625, $650. We've got buyers sitting around that $550 at the moment, so it looks like we're up in there if anyone's got any carryover water to be selling at the moment. Now in this water space, we do have some buyers looking for some MIL water at the moment, some permanent MIL water, Zone 10. So if you're looking to put up some general security water at the moment, please let me know. I've got a couple of active buyers in that space at the moment. We also will have a parcel of Murrumbidgee water coming up for expressions of interest in the next few weeks, so keep your eye out for that one, and possibly some bore water there as well, so please also keep your eye out for that one. In livestock markets this week, well, another strong week as expected. The East Young Cattle Indicator has risen up to 520 cents per kilo carcass weight. The National Trade Lamb Indicator, well, this one just goes from strength to strength. It's now trading above that $9 mark at $9.34. And the mutton job, well, 612 cents per kilo carcass weight. Now, extra heavy lambs in Wagga sale yard yesterday, anything finished now is now trading above that $10 mark, around that sort of 10.16, 10.20. This obviously is very strong prices, and with the lowest lamb drop that we've seen in decades, we expect this market to remain strong for a number of years, and it will be interesting to see how it changes the face of our little patch here over the next few years, as I expect to see some of those croppers step back into a lamb or a livestock operation as part of their enterprise. In rural property this week, well, I've said it before, the fundamentals of that dairy space at the moment are very, very good. We just need to add water. And I do believe now is the time to step into that space. We've got some very flexible, well-managed farms that we can put a management package in for you. These are going to be very sound investments, and we get some water back in the system, and these are going to be absolutely powerhouses of income with regular monthly income for anyone that's looking for a solid investment that does complement a grazing or a cropping operation in other areas. Properties like Rosedale and Tickawara have good underground water. They've got a good access to that Murray water system, are well set up to milk large numbers of cows. They're well set up if you want to convert them over to a beef or a lamb operation. They're absolutely forage powerhouses at the moment. We are running a bit of a campaign on these properties because there is right over these, there's probably a foot of ryegrass over these properties at the moment. The cows are milking exceptionally well, and they're not feeding too much grain at the moment. Yes, we've got some question over the allocations in the Murray at the moment, but these properties do run well. They've got up to 2 years' worth of forage in front of themselves at the moment, so there is a buffer there, and there's opportunity here for somebody to step in, secure them while the milk price is high, and capitalise on this market that's been down for so long. As I said before, we can get these properties managed for you as a standalone investment with full reporting. You won't have to do a thing, but they will be a very valuable asset to your agricultural enterprise. Now that agricultural news around the world, another report's come out as to why a lot of corporates or investors are now looking at farmland. This report was based in the US, where it's very interesting. There's something like 40% of farmland in the US is now leased. Only about 4% of that is owned by corporate and is leased back to operators. But yeah, a massive 40% is now leased from private owners back to existing operators. So that's very interesting over there. I suppose it's a matter of supply and demand. Agriculture seems to miss out on those dips and flows of the share market or the gold market. So quite a stable investment for people. An interesting fact also in the US, they're losing farmland there to growth at a rate of approximately 3 acres per minute. So obviously a shrinking asset class, and another reason why with a growing population we're needing to produce more and more food. Therefore agriculture becomes more and more attractive as a long-term investment. Obviously these fundamentals also flow over into our local market here in Australia, which gives you good secured growth for many years to come. Now in the cattle market this week, Arla, a company over in the UK, is developing some 3D imagery technology to manage their animal welfare within their dairy systems. This is a series of cameras that will track cattle's walk, their heat, how they behave throughout the day and from day to day, and give you a herd report with animals that you do need to look at. Great for those enclosed animals or those dairy operations, but just a way that AI and technology is now monitoring our herd, where once we had a very good herdsman. The advantages of these systems is that just like humans who go a bit silly when you put them in front of a camera, animals, when they think they're being watched, will act a bit differently. So this is a way of being unintrusive, and by recording long term what animal behaviours are, we can pick up on those crook animals before what the eye would pick up if you're solely relying on the observation of a good herdsman. So once again, some very exciting new technology that's coming into this ag space, and it will be an ever-changing space over the next decades and probably for time to come. Now, as always, if you'd like any more information on any one of these products or properties or any other information here today, please feel free to give me a call at any time on 0488 594 450. We'll catch up with you all again next week. Cheers.